Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Invasion Nation Morning Show. Yours truly, the Redneck. Uh, Also brought to you by Mill Pond Salon, KJ's Quick Stop, Romaine Berg, and Iams Garage. Oh, yeah, we slept in this morning. Ain't gonna lie. Slept in this morning. Had coffee out on the veranda. Travel buddies still in bed. In bed. Sleeping good in the neighborhood. So, poor Marco, he asked out, and then my dogs decided to be his alarm clock. So, oh, good morning, Matt, Chris, Chad, Angel, Penny LaRue, good morning, Kripner, Lene, good morning, Don, Lolly, Ruger wife, good morning, Clinton, Jay Holland, Ruger, good morning, Jody, J-Jo, good morning, good to see y'all. Yeah, so I don't know if you guys have seen. Well, last night, travel buddy and his partner in crime there, uh, Marco, decided that it'd be time to invade the redneck, and that is what they've done. They drove straight here from Louisiana, and yeah, they made it. They were here when I got here, so GMAG. Whoa. I'm assuming that is Jerry. Good morning. Crazy lady from the farm. Happy American Redneck Day. Good morning, everybody. So, yeah. It But anyways, yeah, so here's what we got going on. I don't know if you guys have been watching the news, but have you seen the controversy with AOC and her supposed tour of the immigration center down in Texas? I think it was in El Paso that she was at, and so she's accusing the staff down there of making immigrants drink from toilets. She accused she accused them of being Nazis. She's accused these places of being concentration camps. But it seems now finally I forgot the association the guards are in. Way to be prepared for this one, Redneck. But anyways, basically the spokesman for the guards has said that yeah, she's all the way wrong. One, she never toured the facility. She started screaming and hollering. Two guards were laughing off in the background, and she, in her paranoid state of, uh, yeah, in her paranoid state and thinking that the world is all about her, yeah, she then in turn, a couple of guys were laughing, a couple of guards were laughing, and they weren't even talking about her. They were actually debriefing on the arrests that were made, and they were talking about an incident that had happened. And she started hollering at them. Uh, so, needless to say, this has become quite the controversy. It's a he said, she said thing, but let's just face it, AOC does not have the best reputation right now for telling the truth. So, B2 Crass, good morning. North Dakota Born, good morning. Snow Wild, good morning. Good to see you. So it's turned into a big giant shit show because they're saying she didn't even tour it. She wasn't even paying attention. She kept going to the cell where the detainees were, and she said that somebody said that she was fighting psychological warfare. No, let's get something straight. I've been detained by the United States government. A lot of these people there are just to get their paychecks. They're there to do their job and get their paycheck. But they're not there to invoke some kind of psychological warfare on you, anything like that, okay? The lady, they said, yes, there was a lady who drank from the toilet because she didn't know how to use the fountain. If you guys have I'll see if I can look one up here actually, so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Uh, uh, so you guys can see this. All right, so this is typically what it is. If I can get it to expand. Okay, these are typically what they are. All right. Actually, this one's more probably what they have. No, quit with your pop-up bullshit. So right here. All right, if you guys can see right here, you probably can't see it very well on the screen, but let me tell you exactly how this works. See, this is the toilet button. This is the toilet. That's your toilet paper holder right there. This right here, this is hot and cold water. This spigot also works as a water fountain. The lady who drank from the toilet did not know how to use this portion right here. This is pretty much standard in all federal facilities, just so y'all know. I said, no, I ate and shit out of one of these, or I got water and shit in one of these for 7 years. Okay? They're stainless steel. They're cold as shit constantly. But yeah, you've got a toilet button right here, which flushes the toilet, and then you've got two water buttons. Apparently, so by the way, just so you know, this is a standard thing in federal facilities. All right, so all she had to do was push a button and drink out of this. She did not realize that's how it worked. She was educated after the fact in how it works. But AOC basically said the guards made her drink out of the toilet. There's no way to do that. Okay, she said AOC's comment is this. AOC said this. Okay, she said she wanted some water and they told her to drink out of the toilet. Well, even if they said something, drink out of the toilet, all you got to do, it's not like they shoved, and nobody's saying that they shoved her head down in the toilet and made her drink. That's not what happened. Take it from me, I've frequented a few federal facilities in my 7 years in, and this is the standard issue federal toilet. So AOC would drink out of the toilet. She didn't know what a garbage disposal was. Yeah. Now, mind you, Playboy, thanks for the follow. I wanna put something out there for you, just so you guys know. Donald Trump actually went after proposed a relief bill. After he toured down there, he proposed a relief bill to get more people down there or get more funding down there so they could get more, better treatment for them, get them more supplies, things like that, because there's 144,000 people in these containment centers. They were designed to hold this many. But you can thank Democrats for that. I don't know if you guys have seen Senator Ted Cruz's spiel on it, and we'll look at that here in a minute. But yeah, the only person who voted against giving them people relief, was AOC. And then she goes on CNN and says, well, I did it to make a statement. No, you did it to be an ignorant, dumb bitch, is what you did. You think doing everything opposite of everybody else is what's going to get you. If she gets reelected, I would be absolutely surprised. Donald Trump's like, listen, I understand they're here. They're not supposed to be here, but we're not going to treat them like shit. And here's the thing. Okay, she voted against giving those people relief while they're in detainment. Okay, they were approving funding not only for Border Patrol, but also to get more people in Border Patrol, to get more supplies into these facilities, to give them a larger budget to house who is there. Now, we're going to watch a video by Ted Cruz here, and the video by Ted Cruz is going to explain a lot to you. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail about it, but I want you guys to understand what is going on. And Ted Cruz hits it right on the head. This has been an issue with Democrats, and the thing is understand that this is a political game for Democrats. Okay, what their issue is this. What they want to do is this. Okay, mind you, this is a way for them to guarantee votes by getting illegals here and trying to get illegals the ability to vote. They are 5 times more likely to vote Democrat. But here's the problem. We keep letting them in at like 144,000, a rate of 144,000 a month. Okay, if we keep letting them in at that rate, our infrastructure can't hold that. Our infrastructure cannot handle that. On top of the over 1 million people we let in here every year. Our infrastructure can't support it. We can't support giving these people. Look at California. You've got people fleeing California at an all-time rate right now. Senator Ted Cruz was up on Fox a couple nights ago saying, listen, we've got 1,000 people a day minimum on average, or no, he said on average 1,000 people a day leaving California for Texas. Millennials are going from California to Texas, to Houston, Texas, to start businesses because they can't afford the taxes to start one in California. Lionel Harris, a comedian, a popular comedian on YouTube, is going through it, and he was in downtown LA where Obama sat and promised him that he was going to rebuild this neighborhood, and he's pointing out, he says, everything's closed here. There's a weed store over there that's open and a tobacco shop. 4 businesses open on 2 city blocks, and 3 of them are weed shops, and 1 of them is a tobacco shop. That's it. So let me find this video by Ted Cruz. This really sums up the situation quite well, actually. If I can find it. Oh, I hear Travel Buddy up. Right here. I'll do the 7-minute one.
In 2014, not too many years ago, of the adult men crossing illegally into this country, roughly 1% had a child with them. Today, roughly 50% of the adult men crossing into the Rio Grande sector have a child with them. The reason for that, the fault of that, is the U.S. Congress, because we have told the traffickers, the human traffickers, we've told the drug traffickers, if you bring a child, that child is essentially a get-out-of-jail-free card.
Oh, yeah!
Let me first of all start by thanking all of the good men and women of Border Patrol and ICE and CBP who risk their lives. Y'all have an incredibly difficult job. It's an incredibly important job, and an awful lot of times, it's a thankless job. And I want you to know, on behalf of 28 million Texans, we're saying thank you. We appreciate your standing up for this country. We are seeing an absolute humanitarian crisis on the border. This is unconscionable, what is happening. The last month, in the month of May, over 144,000 people were apprehended in 1 month, in a single month. This is a crisis. And unfortunately, this is a man-made crisis. The responsibility for this crisis lies directly on the United States Congress, on loopholes that Congress has put into law that are encouraging far too many people to make this arduous journey. Today, a group of reporters walked 1 mile in the blazing sun, with water, with medical assistance if we needed it. Now imagine doing that if you were a 4-year-old child. Imagine doing that if you were a woman 8 months pregnant. Our policies, the loopholes that Congress has put in place, is encouraging people to risk their lives. And even more tragically, it's putting children in harm's way. Earlier today, I visited the Central Processing Center here in the Valley, visited the McAllen headquarters. One of the more disturbing figures that I heard from the chief is in 2014, not too many years ago, of the adult men crossing illegally into this country, roughly 1% had a child with them. Today, roughly 50% of the adult men crossing into the Rio Grande sector have a child with them. The reason for that, the fault of that, is the U.S. Congress, because we have told the traffickers, the human traffickers, we've told the drug traffickers, if you bring a child, that child is essentially a get-out-of-jail-free card. It is an incentive from the United States Congress. Go and find a small child and take that arduous journey. Risk that child's life. And I'll tell you, far too many of those children face physical abuse, they face sexual abuse, they face neglect. And a growing problem we're seeing is fraudulent family units. Groups that present as a family unit, that tell the Border Patrol they're one happy family. There was recently a pilot program done in the Rio Grande Valley using rapid DNA to test family units that said they were family units. It found roughly 30% of those family units were fraudulent. In other words, the adults weren't related to the kids. We're hearing more and more reports of horrific things like children being rented to those crossing illegally. You know, this is a political environment where a lot of politicians like to talk about their enormous compassion, their enormous virtue. Let me tell you, nobody who is compassionate, nobody who is virtuous, nobody who gives a damn about human beings would want even a single day to perpetuate these loopholes and put more children in harm's way. We ought to be angry. We ought to be angry at politicians that wash their hands of this problem. You know, every time I come down to the Valley, every time I come down to the border, I try to visit with Border Patrol agents, I try to visit with law enforcement, local leaders. What I'm hearing in South Texas and all along the border is this is a crisis that is overwhelming our ability to deal with it. It's overwhelming our infrastructure. It's overwhelming our healthcare system. It's overwhelming just here in the Rio Grande Valley. Chief told me that on average, one woman a day, they're taking to the hospital to deliver a baby. On average, one a day. Imagine being 8-9 months pregnant, making that journey. I visited with too many South Texas ranchers and farmers that have found the bodies of people abandoned. Children, pregnant women abandoned to die. It is time to end this crisis, and the only way we'll end this crisis is for Congress to stop the political posturing and solve the problem, close the loopholes, so that children are not subject to exploitation as they are right now.
That is Senator Ted Cruz from Houston, Texas. All right. Telling you, hey, this is my state. I know what the fuck's going on here. Okay, he's telling you exactly what the hell's going on here, and that's the thing. He's trying to explain this to people. He's trying to tell them exactly what the fuck is going on, and nobody is listening. Justin, good morning. Farmer Trucker, good morning. Good to see you. Gus, good morning. Good to see you. Yeah, so here's the thing. This is not anything that's but unknown. I've been telling you guys for at least 2 years. Those of you who've been following me from Facebook and those of you who've been on here since I started on Twitch. I said mainstream media is not going to tell you the truth. Go on YouTube and look up the videos that these people are posting up. The families who've had their heads kicked in. The American families who've had their heads kicked in living in these border towns because the cartels are sending people over here and they're threatening people over here. All this private funding being raised for the wall. What people don't understand is they're building the wall. They're building it to connect with the federal wall. They're building it to the federal standards. Oh yeah, Ted Cruz runs. I could definitely see him hitting president. Ted Cruz has definitely been making a name for himself here lately. When it came to the Mueller investigation, Ted Cruz was a guy calling out everybody saying, "What the fuck?" Ted Cruz has called out the Democratic Party saying the clown car is broken. I would definitely, as of right now, if Ted Cruz ran after Donald Trump, I would vote for him. Ted Cruz has gone after Google, has gone after Facebook. Why? Look at all these perverts coming in here. I don't even want to argue with perverts. Just had enough of them.
Yeah!
Yeah, he didn't make it very long now, did he? That sucks. Get banned before even your follow comes up. But Ted Cruz has been on this campaign and calling everybody out. And Ted Cruz also said, I'll be honest with y'all. They're upstairs, Justin. Waking up, doing that kind of stuff. Here's the thing with Ted Cruz is, he's holding back no shots. I don't know if you guys seen him on Fox the other night. Maybe Ted Cruz is on one. Literally, you're talking a guy, look, this guy's got a ton of videos just on the border. He's been, and the thing is mainstream media will never give him any type of credit. Here's another one from
Joining
Ted
us
Cruz.
now, Senator Ted Cruz of the great state of Texas. Senator, how are you? Good to see you.
Sean, great to be with you.
I watch closely, and I'm paying very close attention. It's now every second, minute, hour of every day hating Donald Trump. And then it's the new Green Deal, and it's socialism at a level we've never seen before and with a predictable result, correct?
Look, the debate last night.
Take a sip of water. By the way, that's your Marco Rubio moment, just in case you didn't know. It happens. Don't worry about it, Senator. It's okay. But the thing is, when you look at the Democrats, you pay close attention, they seem to have a few agenda items. Hating Trump, new Green Deal.
Yep. Look, the debate last night, the clown car is broken. There's no brake, and it only steers left. I got to say that was scary last night. It was scary to see the Democrats, every one of them falling all over each other to get further and further and further left. You saw the Democrats, you just went through it in your monologue powerfully. You saw them embrace late-term abortions. You saw them embrace 70% tax rates. You saw them embrace socialism. You saw them tell the American people they want to take away everyone's health insurance. And you saw them embrace open borders. One of the most disturbing exchanges is when several of those candidates began saying they wanted to eliminate the provision in law that makes it illegal to cross the border, that makes it a crime to cross the border illegally. Now, Sean, as you know, last month we apprehended over 144,000 people in the month of May crossing illegally. Well, the Democrat solution to that is, well, let's not make it a crime. There we go. The problem goes away. That is open borders. It's irresponsible. And it is sadly where the Democratic Party is today.
You know, how did we go from supporting Obama's position to it's immoral? And, you know, the guy that you knew, Robert, Francis, Beto, whatever his name is, literally is saying tear down the walls. But yet 90% of America's heroin comes across that border. We're losing 300 people a week in the opioid crisis. Then fentanyl, add that to the mix. I've interviewed these border agents that have spent, over a decade talking about children, young girls being trafficked for prostitution.
Yes.
11, 12, 13 years old. And
Sean, you and I have both been down to the border together. I'm going to be going on Monday back to the border to really try to highlight the crisis we're having there. Now, we saw some positive development today in that Congress finally passed what the president asked for, $4.5 billion. That includes over $1 billion for Border Patrol. That includes over $200 million for ICE. That's good. But here's the bad news. The Democrats in Congress refuse to close the loopholes that are causing this crisis. They refuse to do anything to...
Okay. Now, mind you, that bill, AOC opposed that bill. Funding relief. Now, mind you, Border Patrol is the $200 million for the border crisis, or that is just to increase security, because right now they've got almost all the border control on standby working the detention centers. SMC, good morning, good to see you. They've got to work in the detention centers. They got 144,000 people in the detention centers.
Fix the crisis. And what that means, I'll tell you one of the most disturbing reports I'm getting, Sean. I'm getting more and more reports from law enforcement of cartels and traffickers renting children, because the idiotic policy that the Democrats have put in place is if someone shows up with a child, that they're allowed to stay. They're allowed to go free. And as a result, you're seeing little children who are they're finding more and more instances where they're with adults that are not their parents, that are not their family, that are strangers to them. But the child is a...
That's one spot right there. You see that? That's one area where they cut through the fence. One area where they cut through the fence.
Essentially their get-out-of-jail-free card. That is cruel to incentivize kids being abused like that.
Did you see that? Somebody falling down, and they're running over the top of them back here.
And you know what? The Democrats on that stage, the Democrats on the stage right now, not a single one of them is willing to do anything to fix it.
Okay,
those are little kids, by the way, that are falling down, and they're just dragging them across the border.
I don't even think the issue is about abortion. When you say no restrictions on abortion, then we get into what happened in Virginia and all these other states where they talk about during birth. It's not abortion, it's infanticide, or post-birth infanticide.
So here's the thing. Ted Cruz has been calling everybody out on everything, and he doesn't care what political party you're with. He doesn't care what side of the spectrum you're sitting on. Ted Cruz has had enough. He's tired of the shit show they call Congress. He's tired of everything being about the political. He knows his spot is locked and loaded. He knows his spot is locked and loaded in Congress. You know, and that's the thing. This is what I don't understand with all this. Okay? That's the thing I don't understand with all this. The evidence is right there, but then you've got them still saying, oh, well, open the borders, it solves the problem. How do you financially support those people? They arrested 53 people, 53 illegals the other day. 36 of them had felony convictions, had already been deported. Supreme Heretic. Good morning. Good to see you. 53 people and 36 of them. 36 of them. I want to... Thank you, Sarah.
Making them dirt road dollars, way out yonder, having them holler.
How do we go? I think it's this one.
The system's still broken. And to truly deal with this issue, Congress needs to act. And that moment is now. This week, the Senate will consider a common sense, bipartisan bill that is the best chance we've had in years to fix our broken immigration system. It will build on what we've done and continue to strengthen our borders. It will make sure that businesses and work.
Did you hear that? Strengthen our borders. Obama was all for building a wall. All the people that now oppose the wall were supporting the wall. I give Cruz a ton of credit for calling out the tech companies and responding to Project Veritas video on his own YouTube. Absolutely, you are 100% correct. And the fact that he has told them, guess what? You're on our chopping block. We're coming for you because you guys have violated your terms of service with the United States government.
Workers are all playing by the same set of rules. And it includes tough penalties for those who don't. It's fair for middle-class families by making sure that those who are brought into the system pay their fair share in taxes and for services. And it's fair for those who try to immigrate legally by stopping those who try.
What did he say? Wait a minute. Obama, what did you say? Obama, what did you say?
By stopping those who try to skip the line. It's the right thing to do. To try to skip the line. It's the right.
Wait a minute.
Legally, by stopping those who try to immigrate legally. It's fair for those who try to immigrate legally, and it's fair for those who try to immigrate legally by stopping those who try to skip the line. It's by stopping those who try to skip the line. It's by stopping those who try to skip the line. It's the right thing. By stopping those who try to skip the line. It's the right thing to do. Skip the line. It's the right thing to do. The line. It's the right thing to do. Right thing to do. Right thing to do. Right thing to do.
Y'all heard
now,
that,
this
right?
bill isn't perfect.
I just want to make sure you heard
it's
that.
It's a compromise. And going forward, nobody's going to get everything that they want. Right thing to do. Right thing to do. Right thing to do.
The Democratic poster
Now, this
child.
bill isn't perfect.
This is why you don't hear about Obama.
And going forward,
and
nobody's going to get
campaigns.
everything that they want. Not Democrats, not Republicans, not me. But this is a bill that's largely consistent with the principles that I and the people on this stage have laid out.
Wait a minute, what did he say?
Reform. With the principles that I and the people on this stage have laid out. With the principles that I and the people on this stage have laid out for common sense
Tag
reform.
Trump 2020, I like that. Keep America great.
First of all, if passed, this bill would be the biggest commitment to border security in our nation's history. It would put another $6.5 billion on top of what we're already spending.
Wait, what did he say?
First of all, if passed, this bill would be the biggest commitment to border security in our nation's history. It would put another $6.5 billion on top of what, if passed, this bill would be the biggest commitment to border security in our nation's history.
Wait, whoa. Did he say $6.5 billion? He said $6.5 billion. How much is it to build the wall? $6 billion. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Hold on. I want to make sure y'all hear that.
It would put another $6.5 billion on top of what we're already spending. $6.5 billion on top of what we're already spending. There's $6.5 billion on top of what we're already spending. There's $6.5 billion on top of what we're already spending towards stronger, smarter.
Just in case you didn't hear that.
$6.5 billion on top of what we're already spending
And
towards
Donald Trump wanted
stronger,
to spend
smarter
$6.
security along our borders. It would increase criminal penalties against smugglers and traffickers.
Uh-oh.
It would increase criminal penalties against smugglers and traffickers. It would increase criminal penalties against smugglers and traffickers. It would finally give every employer a reliable way to check that every person they're hiring is here legally. Every employer a reliable way
God
to
damn
check
it. That sounds like
that
Donald
every
Trump.
person they're hiring is here legally. Give every employer a reliable way to check that every person they're hiring is here legally. Give every employer a reliable way to check that every person they're hiring is here legally. And would hold employers more accountable if they knowingly hire undocumented workers. So it strengthens border security, but also enforcement within our borders. Enforcement within our borders. So enforcement within our borders. I know there's a lot of talk right now about border security, so let me repeat. Today, illegal crossings are near their lowest level in decades. And if passed, the Senate bill, as currently written and is hitting the floor, would put in place the toughest border enforcement plan that America
Thank you,
has
Sure Son.
ever seen.
Sure.
So nobody's taking border enforcement lightly.
What the fuck? What? Did Obama say that? Did Obama say that? Did Obama say that, everybody? Was that Obama talking? Was that our former U.S. President Obama talking? But now Donald Trump says it. He's a fucking racist. If you're deplorable, you're safe here. I mean, seriously. It sucks that my last day on Twitch, Redneck Invasion, I'm leaving this platform in search of some other place to create content. I just don't agree with the direction of Twitch and the rampant den of SJW it has become. Here's the thing. I'm going to tell you about that real quick, Supreme. Here's the reason I love Twitch. If you watch TwitchCon and the videos, the live streams coming from TwitchCon in Germany, you had one of these SJW things get up there. I don't know if it was a guy or a girl. I don't want to misgender it. So I'll just call it an it. So, stood up and said, first thing they asked was, what is Twitch going to do about trolls? The representative from Twitch said this: we give you a block button. We give you moderators. Use it. You have the ability to block these people. They said, well, how does Twitch feel about most of the content creators being sexist or racist? Twitch said, you don't have to watch their channels. We're not going to sit here and monitor every single channel that way. We're not going to do it. And that's what happened. I came here from a Facebook platform that highly censored me, monitored me, pulled me down. Yeah, absolutely. That video, you can just type in Obama immigration on YouTube. There, CAG Trump. You can type that in. Just type in Obama and immigration. It's a 2-minute and something video. Yeah, literally. Does that not? It sounds like actually Donald Trump stole his campaign rhetoric from Obama. Like damn near plagiarized it. But Obama called for $6.5 billion. Donald Trump called for $6. The other day, driving down the highway, I seen a bull hauler with Trump 2020 up where his porch light goes on the trailer. Nice. Oh my God! Look at the whites. Look at the Nazi slams head off desk. Every liberal watching this. Yeah, man. Did you? I mean, am I just delusional? Am I drunk? Was that not our former president, Democratic President Barack Obama, word for word, verbatim, saying everything that Donald Trump was saying? This has been the thing for presidency since I started voting. I'm 40 years old. Every president has had this, and then all of a sudden, because Donald Trump says it, it's racist. Because Donald Trump is actually doing something about it, it's racist. You have the private citizens taking the money donated from GoFundMe pages and a little kid in Texas with a lemonade stand, and that's what they're doing. Justice says, but that's not what Hillary and CNN tell me to believe. Yeah. It's ridiculous. This is asinine. This is what's going on. I mean, seriously. That was Obama in 2015 or 2013, one of the two. Either way, he said it verbatim. He campaigned on border security. So right now what we have is a strictly anti-Trump rhetoric going on right now. That's all it is. It's anti-Trump. Has nothing to do with this country. It is strictly anti-Trump. Politicians don't understand how a businessman like Donald Trump, somebody who's been known to be a womanizer, somebody who's been known to be off his rocker constantly and do whatever he wants, people have known that's why they don't like him. Donald Trump is one of the first people to get into politics to say, hey, and he called everybody out on their bullshit. And they don't like him. So it is what it is. Get them coffee break emojis up there. It is time for the coffee break. Yeah. The idiots are outside. I had a FIP pull out in front of me. How the hell can you not see my red and white truck with all the lights on it? First time I fired off my horns in anger, I made them shit themselves. Nice. All right, we'll be right back shortly. Don't go anywhere. We will come back.
Some call me a sinner for the things I've done. Born with a heart of stone, fast with a gun. I'm here to get mine, then I'll leave this town. If you're standing in my way, I'll cut you down. You can't tame me.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Invasion Nation Morning Show, brought to you by yours truly, Redneck, powered by Twitch. Twitch does not endorse anything I do or say. They just give me a platform to be me. So thank you, Twitch, for that. Also, brought to you by Mill Pond Salon in the scenic downtown New London, Romaine Berg in Minneapolis. And we are also on all forms of social media. We are on Facebook. We are on YouTube. We are on the Instagrams, the Snapchats, all that stuff. So, yeah. And also, brain fart. And big shout out to KJ's Quick Stop and Iams Garage for keeping me rolling every day. So, yeah. Good to see y'all. What is shaking? So we started out talking about Senator Ted Cruz, and then we started listening to Obama. And it's all based on Border Patrol. Border Patrol has become a huge... Hey, there he is. Good morning, Tech. Thanks for dropping in. We know you are extremely busy right now. Yeah. When I first saw you, I thought she was cute. Then she opened her mouth and shot that thought in the ass. Oh yeah. Well, I appreciate you, Heretic. I mean, here's the thing. I welcome all political views here. One thing I'm finding out here on Twitch is trolls. I mean, there is no good trolls here in Twitch. None. They have no stamina. They're completely off point. The ones you get in here are just spam trolls. So I've come to realize the fact that, Twitch needed a morning show. Twitch needed a morning show that people can come in here and you can have your political point of view. But most people like me and like a lot of the country, they have the same views I do. We really don't care who is president. We care about a president who is looking out for us. Now, right now, Democrats are not putting anybody forward that remotely has any of the same views that I have. At all. Brett, what's happening? Good to see you. Seriously. Little Miss Airhorn, good morning. Good to see you. I'd rather watch you than Twitch cam girls. Yeah, I've only been on Twitch for about 4 months. And the thing that I'm learning, it's, I literally watched a jar of peanut butter have 100 views. People just had a camera, watching a jar of peanut butter. And it's like, what the fuck? So, yeah, I appreciate it. If you know any like-minded people, bring them on over. We talk about everything here. We do anything from mud trucks to politics to daily life stuff. We treat everybody as family over here, Supreme. So, I mean, that's the thing. AOC has decided not to campaign for the abolition of ICE. After all, she says that would only contribute to global warming. Yeah, there's a guy who puts up a jar of peanut butter in front of a camera, and there's like 100 and something viewers on it. I forgot who was telling me about that. Good morning, Jerry. Good to see you. He didn't have a brain fart, just totally didn't shit itself, and that's exactly what it is. So, yeah. I mean, like I said, when you look at the border control, the border control issue, this has been something that every president has said. Hey, Jerry, I found fuel line, by the way. Just so everybody knows, those of you who weren't watching last night, when the German invasion took over the evening show last night, I actually found fuel line. I found the T connector I need. Yeah, so we have all that. Were they waiting for it to do a trick or magically disappear? We are definitely one big redneck family. What is your take on Nike? I didn't know that they did that. It's Kaepernick. It's Kaepernick, okay? I mean, seriously. Who takes this guy seriously anymore? Who seriously? I mean, listen. The only reason Nike brought him on, Nike doesn't believe in a goddamn thing he says. Nike does not believe in anything that he says. It's the fact that he says, oh, I'm about black oppression and police brutality against blacks. And okay, so what do? Everybody runs out and buys Nikes. So, I mean, that's the thing. That's what it is. It's all about money for them. That's not their views. Poll discussion is pointless and boo. Well, I'm here to change that. I got a few guys that I hang out with. I'm pretty much the only political guy that I hang out on Twitch outside of Killer Steven. Killer Steven, he rides the same boat I ride on. So, but other than that, you've got I watch 30 Says. You'll get in here. We've got our OG Fox Outdoors. I'm pretty much the outside of Killer Steven. I'm pretty much the only one who hits politics pretty hard. But I do it objectively. Here's the thing. I will listen to everybody's point of views, and I will give you an educated argument based on what I know. If I don't know, and a lot of people are like, oh, look, you're not all that. No, it just isn't that serious. I don't pay attention to it. It's not even a feasible thing. Like the Green New Deal. The only reason I paid any attention to it was because it was absolutely fucking hilarious. Like now, all of a sudden you got, what is her name, Kamala Harris or whatever her name is. She's bringing up the Green New Deal. It's like $9.3 trillion just to enact the non-petroleum part of it that she wants to do. $9.3 trillion. Okay, they have not spent that money since the United States became a country. All the presidents combined have not spent $9.3 trillion. But she thinks we can do it. She thinks we can do it. I usually don't support Under Armour anymore because when PETA and a bunch of liberals went after, I forgot her name, her and her husband, because they were on their own private YouTube channel and they were spearing wild hogs. Under Armour dropped their endorsement for them. It's like, you guys make hunting clothing. And because he speared a hog, that was it. So, I mean, I don't care. I mean, honestly, I'll wear whatever. I've never been a fan of Nike shoes. Never liked them, so it doesn't hurt my feelings any. I watched a guy, Red Pill Gaming, on here. Great guy. Great stream. Stood for free speech and calling people out on things left and right until he had a debate with a liberal streamer and her viewers mass fake reported. Now he's banned. I was actually on Killer Steven's channel that night when they actually caught his band. And it took him like a month to ban him. I believe he's currently fighting that. I don't know what the outcome has been. I've actually been not here on Twitch, but I've been a victim of that on. But I think the problem was, Kag. I think the issue wasn't he on her channel and did it? I thought he had the debate on her channel. It's funny. I'm a common sense, free-thinking centrist. I don't like the D or the red I don't like to let the D or the R define me. I vote on person's merit. However, these days, anyone who is center right, even classic liberals, are considered racist alt righters. And you're right. You got Tim Pool. Tim Pool, the most center leftist person I've ever seen in my life. The most center left person I've ever seen. They're labeling him as alt right. Ah. Well, then what she ought to do out of common courtesy is also get on to Twitch and say, listen, we were having a political debate. She should do that. See, I didn't get to see that part of it. I was just on Killer Steven's stream when all of a sudden he just disappeared. Me, I don't identify Republican or Democrat either. I'm labeled as a constitutionalist. I vote based on the people who are best going to represent me, my values, and what I would like to see happen. Okay, that's how I vote, and I don't care what side of the party line you're on. That's exactly how I vote. So I don't know what was said, so I can't comment as far as what was said. But I know Red Pill Gaming his ban has caught a pretty good has gotten a lot of people to say some stuff. Good morning, good to see you. Yeah, Farmer Trucker, you keep her between the ditches there, brother. Millions of illegals depend on us working Americans. And here's the thing. Okay. I don't care. I don't. This is one thing I don't like. This is one thing that I really don't like. I do not like this mass flagging campaigns that are going on. I think these platforms need to create an algorithm that says, all right, if it gets a mass flagging deal, we need to watch this. That's what we need to do. We need to watch this and see. Now, understand places like Twitter, places like YouTube, Facebook, we know they are highly left supporting. Highly left supporting. Okay, so there's good possibility. I mean, you're talking a guy. I've been on Facebook for 5 years. Some sons of bitches finally owe me 9 cents. Facebook, I want my check. You owe me 9 cents. Give it to me. 5 years. I finally made some money off of Facebook. Give me my 9 cents. I earned it fair and square. But they'll find a way to demonetize me. That's just what they do. If I got into it to make money, I sure the hell wouldn't be driving the miles I'm driving every day. So, same here, Redneck Invasion, because the Constitution is so very important to me, especially my rights as a legal gun owner and my freedom of speech. Absolutely. I believe in the Constitution as it's written. And that's the thing. When I get on here and I listen to people who say, oh, the Constitution should be abolished and rewritten. You can't rewrite what is there. Do you know that the original laws of freedom of press said that if the press stated false accusations, false news, reported false news, that they were supposed to be held accountable? But now this country has protected their asses so well that it makes it so hard to do. You have to prove a financial loss, some type of financial loss, in order to sue news media outlets for defamation of character or slander. Why did this happen? Well, when the big three took over in the early 90s and turned news into entertainment, they are no longer considered news. This is where people don't understand things. This happened back in the early 1990s when mainstream media was taken over. It became entertainment. That's why they say, I think. They have all these little guidelines by the FCC as long as they say this in the time of their broadcast, or in my opinion. Okay, you'll hear this a lot. They are no longer, all right, they are no longer held and subject to the actual media lines of responsibility. because now they're entertainment. And people don't understand that. Why do you think the weatherman can lie so much? Yeah, the only way they're allowed, the only way here in the United States, the only way they're supposed to be allowed to censor anybody is if it imposes harm on themselves or somebody else. That's it. They are a mandated reporter. But they're not doing that, and they've been getting away with it for some years. Well, Senator Ted Cruz called them out. You guys remember that interview? Should we review that? Ted Cruz he's been the subject of my show this morning. I like Ted Cruz. And so far, he's got my vote as the next president.
A whistleblower identified simply as an insider at Google with knowledge of the algorithm is quoted on the same report as saying, Google, quote, is bent on never letting somebody like Donald Trump come to power again. Do you think it's Google's job to make sure, quote, somebody like Donald Trump never comes to power again? A lot of Americans have concerns that big tech media companies, and Google in particular, are engaged in political censorship.
He calls them out by the law and everything.
As you know, Google enjoys a special immunity from liability under Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act. The predicate for that immunity was that Google and other big tech media companies would be Communications Decency Act. As you know, Google enjoys a special immunity from liability under Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act. As you know, Google enjoys a special immunity from liability under Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act. The predicate for that immunity was that Google and other big tech media companies would be neutral public fora. The predicate for that immunity was that Google and other big tech media companies would be neutral public fora.
Well, hold on.
Was that Google and other big tech media companies would be neutral public fora.
Neutral public forum. Now you take guys like Steven Crowder, Ben Shapiro, even now Tim Pool, who are being demonetized, who their videos are not being suggested. Going after these people continually. Okay, I want to point something out. They went to Congress to get all this stuff doing. I kind of want to start a YouTube just to see how quickly I'll get taken down for smacking around the SJW culture. You may not be taken down, but you'll be very hard to find. You take somebody like Steven Crowder. Steven Crowder has, 3.5 million, something like that. 3.5 million. He's one of the largest conservative networks on. He has more following. I believe he has a larger following than Fox News does. Okay. He has one of the largest conservative followings on YouTube, and this guy is a comedian. And they're demonetizing him. They're going after him continually. Let's hear what Ted Cruz still has to say. This is my favorite, the robot lady.
Does Google consider itself a neutral public forum?
Thank you, Senator. Yes, it does.
She is living proof. She is living proof that Google can create androids.
Okay. Are you familiar with a report that was released yesterday from Veritas that included a whistleblower from within Google, that included videos from a senior executive at Google, and that included documents that are purportedly internal PowerPoint documents from Google?
Yes, I heard about that report in industry news.
Have you seen the report?
No, I have not.
So you didn't review the report to prepare for this hearing?
Okay. Again, here comes the best part of this. Okay. He just called her out. You didn't read the report that I'm bringing you here about. Don't piss off a Texan by trying to play him off as stupid. Don't do that. Don't do that. Now, mind you, over 92% of all searches done on the internet are done through Google and YouTube. But mind you, Google and YouTube are being sued all over the world because they don't have the protection they have here in the United States. I just want you to know that. They do not have the protection anywhere else in the world that they have here in the United States.
It's been a busy day, and I have a day job, which is digital well-being at Google. So I'm trying to make sure I keep the trains
I'm
on the
sorry.
track. It's been a busy day, and I have a day job, which is digital well-being at Google. So I'm trying to make sure I keep the trains.
By the way, we looked up digital well-being at Google, and we didn't find shit. We have searched high and low. I qualify for the position that they have listed as a job opening for digital well-being. I wish you would have asked her to explain it. So, yeah.
I'm sorry this hearing is impinging on your day job.
It's a great opportunity. Thank you. I really
Well,
appreciate
one of the
it.
things in that report, and I would recommend people interested in political bias at Google watch the entire report and judge for yourself. There's a video from a woman, Jen Janai. It's a secret video that was recorded. Jen Janai, as I understand it, is the head of, quote, responsible innovation for Google. As I understand it, she is shown
Okay,
in the
now
video
responsible
saying,
innovation is legit. Responsible innovation is this. Responsible innovation is what they do. They do research, modern research, to look at how to stay pertinent in the internet world, coming up with new technologies and user access and usability of Google. I looked that up. Legit deal.
and this is a quote, Elizabeth Warren is saying that we should break up Google. And like, I love her, but she's very misguided. Like, that will not make it better. It will make it worse. Because all these smaller companies who don't have the same resources that we do will be charged with preventing the next Trump situation. It's like a small company cannot do that. Do you think it's Google's job to, quote, prevent the next Trump situation?
Thank you, Senator. I don't agree with that. No, sir.
So a different individual, a whistleblower identified simply as an insider at Google with knowledge of the algorithm, is quoted on the same report as saying, Google, quote, is bent on never letting somebody like Donald Trump come to power again. Do you think it's Google's job to make sure, quote, somebody like Donald Trump never comes to power again?
No, sir, I don't think that is Google's job. And we build for everyone, including every single religious belief, every single demographic,
Yeah, the whistleblower video
every
is
single
up.
region, and certainly
I can't
every
show it because when this
political
gets re-aired
affiliation.
on Facebook and
Well, I have
YouTube,
to say that
if
certainly
I
does
show
not
it, they
appear
will
to be
pull
the
my
case.
channel down.
Also in this report, it indicates that Google,
just so y'all
according
know.
to this whistleblower, deliberately makes recommendations.
So I recommend that you watch
if someone
that.
is
Save it for
searching
after
for
the show.
conservative
Watch that.
commentators,
It's actually quite interesting.
deliberately shifts the recommendation. So instead of recommending other conservative commentators, it recommends organizations like CNN or MSNBC or left-leaning political outlets. Is that occurring?
Thank you, sir. I can't comment on search algorithms or recommendations given my purview as the digital well-being lead. I can take that back to my team, though.
So is it part of
Can
digital?
can you see? Look at the irritation on his face. Like, what the fuck are you doing here then? Why are you here? You want to get your ass out in front of Congress? You want to not do this? Okay. You have one of the most vicious dudes in the call-out game in Congress fixing an interview in a subcommittee, and what? And what? You're going to blow him off. You're going to treat him like he isn't shit. Well, how well did that work with George Bush Jr. and Sr.? Let me think about that. Get back to you. Laugh my ass up. Yeah, that's exactly it. You want to blow a motherfucker off? This is not the guy to blow off. Nadler, you could blow him off. Kamala Harris, AOC, you could blow them all off. It doesn't mean shit. This is not the guy you blow off. You're talking a guy right now who is blowing up the internet for calling people out, calling them out on their bullshit and telling the truth. You have somebody who has taken what Donald Trump has done, Senator Ted Cruz, who's taken what Donald Trump has done and has said, you know what? This is the right way to do it. It's time to call everybody out. I mean, seriously, look at this guy. He's irritated as fuck right now. And I would be too. I'm telling you, she is proof that Google knows how to create androids. I'm telling you, she's true. She's true. She starts off always, thank you, Senator. He's like, I don't want to hear thank you. I want motherfucking answers. And look at this guy, man. He's just, he's like, what the, I mean, look at him. He bite the inside of his cheek. And he's like, I'd really like to go off, but I'm going to remain professional. And yeah.
Well-being for search recommendations to reflect where the user wants to go rather than deliberately shifting where they want to go?
Thank you, sir. As a user experience professional, we focus on delivering on user goals. So we try to get...
Fishing Hunting Gaming Chick is in with a rating party of 22. Thank you very much, sweetheart. I greatly appreciate you. I appreciate y'all coming in. Thank you very, very much. We're just overviewing the fact of Google being questioned, and they send what the hell does she do? User experience goals or some shit. So thank you for the rating party, sweetheart. Thank you very, very much. Follower mode, Redneck Invasion. I don't know how to program that in, and Redneck Tech has been busy. I'm getting that on you. So those of you guys want to watch some neat content, as always, I always give a shout out. Make sure you go check out and follow and subscribe to Fishing Hunting Gaming Chick. She's been an adamant follower here, and I thank you for that. Thank you so much for that. Always coming in, bringing in rating parties, things like that. I do host her. I wait for her to get on, and then I manually host her because I know how to do that much. So thank you very, very much for the rating party. I greatly appreciate you. So back here real quickly with our Android. This is, look. If you notice, her body motion is exactly the same every time.
Oh, yeah!
This is the thing. I don't care what side of the spectrum you sit on, whether you sit left, right, down the center, wherever you sit. This is very important. This hearing is very, very important. Okay, this is just a subcommittee. This is the committee that decides whether or not they're going to bring them back. Bleeding Soul, what's happening? Good to see you. Any mod can turn off follower mode. I don't know how to do that. I don't even know what we're doing. So, yeah, here's the thing. It doesn't matter which side of the spectrum you sit on. D. Red Fisher, good morning. Got to drive. Have an amazing day. You have an amazing day. I've got to run here after a bit, too. But thank you again so much. Always nothing but love for you. So, yeah, make sure you guys go over, follow, subscribe. Fishing Hunting Gaming Chick. She loves gator hunting. I'm just kidding. No, she doesn't. She has an adamant fear of gators, so don't do that. I'm not going to put her out there like that. The reason I put that out there is because the first time I ever seen her stream, she was out fishing with her family, and all of a sudden there was a gator popped up, and she had her kids out on the dock and everything, and she just could not get out of focus of the fact that she's seen a gator, and it went under, and they could not see where it went. And she's like, "Fuck that, we're out of here," and she just took off, bolted. So, yeah, drive safe, keep the rubber on the road, and keep it between the ditches, and you'll be all right. Take it from a professional driver. So,
Get out of the way and get them on the task at hand.
So a final question. One of these documents that was leaked explains what Google is doing, and it has a series of steps. Training data are collected and classified, algorithms are programmed, media are filtered, ranked, aggregated, and guaranteed, and that ends with people, parentheses, like us, are programmed.
a Googlezilla.
Does Google view its job
A
as
Googzilla,
programming
a lizard.
people with search results?
Look, there's the motion. Did you see it? Same motion every time. It's like she's got the restricted motion of an android. Thank you, Senator. I don't know what the hell I'm allowed to say because I've got like 50 attorneys behind me and I don't want to lose my job at Google. I know that we don't like Donald Trump and that's all that counts. And now we're not going to like you either.
Thank you, Senator. I can't speak for the whole entire company, but I can tell you that we make sure that we put our users first in
reptilian?
our design.
Hold on. You're there representing Google. You're supposed to speak for the entire company. What are you doing there? You're there to represent Google. So you are supposed to speak for the entire company. Now you've just made Google a mass target. Way to go.
Well, I think these questions raise very serious, these documents raise very serious questions about political bias at the company.
Uh-oh. Now, mind you, Google is not the only one who has been called out on this. Facebook has been called out on this. Twitter has been called out on this. They're actually talking about reformatting, which, here's the deal. You're not going to put Google out of business. But the guidelines in which they do things are going to change. And that's going to suck for them. That's going to really suck for them. That's going to suck ass for them. And you know why it's going to suck ass for them? Because here's the thing. Like I said, I don't care what side of the line you sit on. Left, right, whatever. Sure, the far left right now, they're happy because Google is doing everything in their favor. They're doing everything in their favor. So they don't want to mess with Google other than to split them up. And other than Elizabeth Warren calling for the fact that they need to monitor conservative channels and they need to kick conservative channels off. Welcome to a socialist nation. Those of you who think that socialism is good, you need to do your research. Show me one country where socialism has worked. Why hasn't it ever worked? Because anybody who is in charge of socialism is extremely greedy. You think socialism is a good thing? Medicare for all? Let me tell you why Medicare for all won't work. And I'll break this down very simply because here's what they have to do in order to pay for Medicare. They say, oh, they're going to tax the rich to pay for it. Well, the rich, okay. What do you do when they finally decide, fuck it, we're not doing this, we're leaving? You're talking a 90% tax on multi-million dollar companies. They just pack their fucking doors and they leave. NAFTA was proof of that. All right, little Miss Airhorn, go get some sleep, get better. All right. Twitch Prime subscription, nice. Thank you very much for that. 4-month subscription. So here's the thing: when you look at the way Twitch is laid out, or I mean, look at the way that social media is laid out. Right now it works very good for these people. When you talk about the mass censorship of conservatives and things like that, what happens when the script changes? What do you do when the CEO changes? What do you do when the company has a change within and they decide to flip to the other side? This is the problem when you try to swing everything to one party side or the other. Democrats have yet to learn that it backfires on them every time. Look at the Trump investigation. 2.5 years of screaming collusion with Russia. And now what are they finding out? All these Democratic senators, Congress people, all these people that are involved with this investigation screaming, get him, get him, get him, get him. And now it's coming back on them for abuse of power, abuse of funds, not doing their job correctly. I mean, seriously, this is what you seriously got going on right now. Okay? This is what you've got going on in this country. And here's the thing. You can't rely. It is a proven fact that the generation that is out now doesn't even go to mainstream media to find their news. They're going to guys like Steven Crowder, Tim Pool, Ben Shapiro, the Daily Wire, period. They're going there more and more and more, and they're sitting more and more on the conservative side. Thank you very much, Jerry. I appreciate it.
Making them dirt road dollars, way out yonder, having them holler.
And the problem is because when you have a debate like we had last week, where you had every Democrat standing on stage saying, we're going to take more of your money. We're going to put you further in the hole than you already are. We're going to leave you to figure out your bills. You've got Kamala Harris saying that they're going to tax water, tax electricity, even higher. That Kamala Harris is saying that she's going to take away your automobiles. The government will then will determine how many vehicles you can actually have and what you actually need. Okay? That they're going to get rid of anything that uses petroleum. The reason they want open borders is young and impressionable kids. Any people of color that don't pay attention is because all these groups are easily manipulated and kept low information on purpose. It's blatant, dirty politics, and the left is pulling. That's why they back all the extremist activists. Here's the thing, though. Even the extremists, even the people in the African-American community are like, listen, for decades, Democrats have come in here and they have promised us a bunch of shit and have never followed through with any of it. They've walked into our ghettos, our neighborhoods, and campaigned here and said, we're going to reopen these businesses. Obama stood in downtown L.A., in a broken neighborhood and said, we're going to fix this. You know what they did? They dumped a bunch of illegal immigrants there. Not a single one of them. More of the businesses closed. More and more people of the black community have come out and said, hey, this is bullshit. Republicans, Donald Trump's been in office for at that time, 2.5 years. They said Donald Trump has been in office for 2.5 years and he's done more for our community. We're actually getting jobs. We're actually getting jobs that we can make money and maintain our families. Instead of just paying for our housing and us living off the bare minimum, they've offered to relocate us and get us different jobs and move us to communities where we can actually work. They're willing to train us to do better jobs and make a better living. Here's the thing. The reason they want open borders, and I'll tell you this, and it's a known fact. It is a proven known fact. Illegal immigrants are 5 times more likely to vote Democrat. But when you have legal Latino citizens here who came here and got their citizenship, or their parents came here, or their grandparents came here and got legal citizenship, they said, no, this is bullshit. Our family had to fight for our citizenship. This is bullshit. You just let them come over here and we had to go through all the shit to stay here? We had to go through the many numerous years of legal cases and paying fees and do this stuff and be able to fight for a right to be here? Now you're just going to let these assholes stay here? We can't even get the benefits to support our families because you say we're American citizens. We can't get shit. California is going broke supporting illegal immigrants right now. People are piling out of California at an all-time rate right now. They're piling out of there. Guest Lounge, welcome to the Invasion Nation Morning Show. This is the thing. This is a very serious concern. Our infrastructure cannot support this. Oh, yeah. Hey, I forgot to announce the winner. We're going to pause for this brief announcement. Hold on. Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? See, that's the problem. I get so wrapped up in politics and wrapped up in the stuff that I'm talking about, I forget what the main purpose of the show was today. So,
Making them dirt road
now I haven't seen them on here in a
way
while.
out yonder, having them holler.
And it was actually a pretty close race. So what I have done is this. Because of my regular viewing audience, I wanted to play fair because there's a lot of people with Twitch followings that have brought a ton of people over here to the Invasion Nation. So I've just been hooking them up as dealer. Otherwise, they would have won this hands down. So basically, here was the challenge: the people who got more people, whoever brought more people over to Twitch, and let me know who brought them over. You get to hang out with me for a day. We're going to take you fishing to some of my favorite fishing spots. Going to barbecue you dinner. Little Miss Airhorn and the Ruger Ranch is going to put on breakfast for you. And basically, we'll have an after party. You get to meet the main basis of the crew around here. Matt Ram is supplying steaks. Gus Hoffey is supplying snacks. Justin is supplying a brand new cooler with water or soda, your choice. And you get to take the cooler home with you. And we're going to swag you out some Redneck Invasion gear. If you don't know how to fish, I'm going to teach you. Glad to see the wax. Listen, Utter. We're not talking about that right now.
Do you suck dicks? Sir, no. Do you suck dicks?
Utter.
Do you suck dicks?
Utter.
Do you suck dicks?
We don't talk about that over here. I looked at that shit Friday. So here's the thing. The idea behind this was to help try and get people from Facebook over to Twitch, because a lot of people are like, oh, I wish we could talk to you more. Well, I don't get to see everybody's comments on Facebook. So really this is what it is. So TP175 has actually won this contest. And him and Car Parts Guy, believe it or not, actually ran pretty well neck and neck. TP edged him out by 2. So, Trump's a shoe-in. You got to remember, don't follow the polls, ladies and gentlemen. Don't follow the polls. Donald Trump was never even supposed to be the Republican nominee. So when we see TP175, I don't know where he's been, but yeah, won the contest. And I mean, the thing is if you don't want to make it here, what I'm going to do is we're going to mail out the cooler to you. We're going to send you a gift certificate to go get sodas or whatever. And we're going to load you up with Redneck Invasion gear, whatever way you want to do it. So, Supreme, you guys got nailed in the midterms. That new governor isn't helping matters. No, our governor sucks ass. I mean, Timmy! You ever seen South Park? Timmy! That's who we got for the governor. We got Timmy! He is a monkey see, monkey do type governor. Yeah. He's here's the thing. The majority of the state voted red. If we had electoral colleges and state elections, Tim Walz would not be our governor right now. Tim Walz, just like if we had electoral colleges and states as opposed to popular vote, Minnesota would be red. It would literally be red. Geographically, Minnesota is red. But the central areas, the highest refugee populated areas, vote blue. And it's like 3 areas in the entire state. 3 or maybe 4. So, yeah, just so you guys know, I am not a supporter or a fan of Tim Walz at all. When you tell me that you want to create more infrastructure for mass transit that is losing millions of dollars a year, that is costing taxpayers millions of dollars a year, and then you want to raise taxes, the cities, Rochester and Duluth areas, yeah. Who, Tim Walz? I live in Ohio. I pray that. Oh, yeah. Whee. Donald Trump's a shoo-in. That much I know. I mean, did you not watch the debates? Even the millennials are quitting buying their bullshit. They're campaigning for votes that don't count. Here's the thing. Democrats are just campaigning. I will be honest with you. They're campaigning to keep their chairs in Congress. That's all they're doing. They know they don't have a shot against this president. They don't have a shot at all. Oh, yeah. We talked about that earlier, about AOC catching all the backlash because now the Border Patrol, their representatives have actually issued a statement because of all her bullshit. So she is catching some serious backlash. We even looked up the type of toilets that they were talking about that have water fountains attached to them. They're sanitary units. They're stainless steel. They have 2 separate water lines going into them, one for the toilet, one for drinking water. And it's the standard for all federal facilities. So, I was never a fan of Mike DeWine. He isn't much better than fake Republican we had in before him. Yeah. So here's the thing, okay? Obama DHS chief even blasting her. She should be held accountable for... I don't think we're going to see her back in Congress after 2020. I think she's done. The one that you're going to have a problem seeing getting out is Ilhan Omar. Ilhan Omar is going to be the problematic person getting out. Nancy Pelosi is just basically trying to hold her chair. So she's trying to earn some kind of favoritism by not going through the impeachment process of... I think it's funny every time they say hold her caucus. Ruger wife, thank you very much.
Making them dirt road dollars way out yonder, having them holler.
So I have a video of her, but however, they have a video of her, but they will not release it. My frustration in this. Why are they not pushing the view of that? There's actually a federal policy in hand. This is what people don't understand. There is a federal regulated policy. That's why you don't see interviews from inside actual federal prisons. There is a policy that the federal government does not allow video cameras or videos of inside these facilities to be released because of the because the highly sensitive nature of the criminals that are there. That's the issue. This isn't because they decided to do this. This has been a long-standing federal policy since before the Clinton administration. Because they believe that if people see in the inside of the facilities, then they would help break people out. You have to remember, in federal facilities, there are some bad motherfuckers there who have lots of people on the outside who would love nothing more than to figure out how to get their people out. If AOC is voted out after one term, what kind of retirement should she get? She shouldn't get shit. In my opinion, she didn't put in the time. But she's going to get full bennies. It's the only reason she did it. I mean, you guys remember when she first got elected, she said she could not move to Washington, D.C. because of the fact that she had to wait for her first check because she couldn't afford an apartment. She had to wait for her first Congress check. And because it's a lot of hot air, like the Smollett thing, all the hot air for publicity, I agree. They should pay for the inciting of the masses and causing an uproar, at least a disturbance of the peace. It's a misdemeanor, but it has teeth. And that's the thing. She won't be held accountable for this. I wish Candace Owens would do a congressional run in the future. She's sharp cookie. I'm telling you. Now, here's the thing that, okay, I would love to see people like Ben Shapiro. I would love to see somebody like Candace Owens. I would love to see these people make congressional runs. I would love to see that. People are like, oh, well, but most of them say we can't. We won't, because then we won't be able to do what we're doing. We won't be able to continue to inform people. It's not that we don't think we have a chance. I mean, you take somebody like Ben Shapiro, Steven Crowder. Their social media following alone would tell you that there's enough there for them to actually make an honest run at Congress. Candace Owens, Joe Rogan, shed light on a person. She's going places. She is. And here's the thing. I would not be surprised if within the next few years, once Candace Owens is done touring, once she gets tired of touring, I would not be surprised if we do see her make a congressional run. I do honestly believe I could see her doing that. Right now, she is when asked, the big three, as they call them, Ben Shapiro, Steven Crowder, and Candace Owens, when all asked if they would run for Congress, they said no, because we're more interested in getting the truth and the facts out there right now. And that's what they do. They go to college campuses, and they're educating people. No, you're right. Thank you, MM. I appreciate that.
Making them dirt road dollars, way out yonder, having them holler.
Although she did not say she did not want to be president. No, she never once has stated that. And if she keeps holding to the standpoints that she has, now mind you, she's very pro-African American community, but she also points out the facts that things like Planned Parenthood, okay, is knocking this out. Welfare has ruined the African American community. Okay. You know, and she's very, very well educated. The only thing that I think is going to stifle her a little bit is when she gets emotionally involved. Shapiro Owens 2024. I would love to see that. If you guys have ever seen these two on stage together, like when they go to these college campuses and they go to these debates and stuff, when they go to state what it is that they have to state. If you've ever seen the two of them together, it is absolutely phenomenal. These two are probably the most vicious combination ever. They're very well educated in speech. You're talking Candace Owens, who is a very hardcore Democrat, who walked over to the Republican side because she was tired of being made felt a victim. She says, I'm not a victim. I choose where I go in life. I would love to see that. I would love to see Shapiro Owens in 2024. But the likelihood is probably slim to none. As batshit crazy as Alex Jones could get sometimes, boy, he sure doesn't deserve the smear treatment and the dehumanization that he's got. You know, here's the thing. I've been following Alex Jones since he was on shortwave radio. I haven't followed him lately. I think a lot of the mainstream publicity that he had gotten for quite a while kind of went to his head. But he had some off-kilter stuff. He's very much into conspiracies. He likes to raise conspiracies on a continual basis, but he has a lot of factual basis stuff. A lot of his historical stuff is actually factually based. But some of the shit he gets out there when they're talking about green aliens and things like that, when he gets out there and gets on some of this shit, it's insane. You know, and when you go and you talk about Sandy Hook, Okay, when you talk about Sandy Hook and it being a conspiracy by the government, now Sandy Hook, the parents have overrun what this is. I mean, when you go after gun makers for advertisement, it's like, come the fuck on. Get the fuck out of here. By the way, that will be shot down by the Supreme Court. There's no way. They didn't advertise it as a gun to go out and shoot people. So, yeah, oh shit, it's 9:08. I gotta get boogieing. Let me see who's on here. Maybe we'll do a raiding party. Don't go anywhere. Please stick around just for a second. Let me see who is on here. Let's raid somebody. Let me see who is on here, if anybody's on. Fuck it. You guys want to raid the Steel Toe Morning Show again? We can do that. Yeah, I got somebody here. Hold on. And I will be doing a morning show tomorrow, so we'll catch y'all on the flip side. You guys know what to do. Blow it up. Blow it up. Get in there with the Redneck Invasion stuff. Blow this shit up. Oh, damn. They ended. Son of a bitch. Raiding party flop. Yeah, I see that. They went offline. Son of a bitch. I am sorry. Yeah, it is what it is. My bad. If y'all can hear me, my bad. I'm still learning this shit. This is what I hate about not having the tech around. Utter tried telling me I'm an idiot. So anyways, we'll catch y'all on the flip side.